Oh, right. It's Monday. Let's get the chi throwing. Oh, stretchingu. Yes, Desmondo, you are forced to. Huzzah and such. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, where's my sip sip? Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's fucking goo. It's chi. Cha cha chi. Painting goo. Painting goo. Oh, it's hot. Oh. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, my spine knows its timer. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. It's faking goo. It's 3 cha-cha-chi. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. All right, Myro. Bring it home. Remind these fucking absent, filthy mortals the meaning of honor. Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo goo. It's painting fucking goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Goo goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Oh, stretching goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. Fucking painting goo. Yes, it's beautiful. You know it's beautiful. And if you have any honor, you will pay the monkey. Pay the monkey! Because I do not. I will never pay him. Greetings and welcome, both of you, to a glorious episode of PEINTEINGU. With me, your demi-divine host, descending into proper PEINTEINGU posture. Oh, the stool is stiff. It's stiff. Very stiff. A slow, stiff stool. There we go. Right, my fluffy topknotu has grown again. It grows fiercely. It's actually kind of annoying how quickly my hair grows. Must be my demi-divine side. So I have applied many bindings, and now it is so tore that it is hilarious. We're back at the Looney Tune bird stage, where it's just this like hilarious puff thing on the top of my head. Part of me wants to get it real long and then like just put a ball on top. Like the leverage I can get on this, like I can like Indians can't compare to like the head bobbling that I can pull off on this like PEINTEINGU. This thing is fucker. I could brush the ceiling with this fucker. Show yourselves, dishonorable tardy dishonorable tardy ones. Excellent. Yeah, fuck them. It's just you and me, bro. I'll play some metal and I'm gonna fucking do some work on the octosquid, giant terrible squid. What am I in the mood? Will we stick on the new metal or will I go back to some old metal? I think I need to find some new shit that doesn't trigger the fucking copyright thing and also doesn't have a shit ton of ads. Because that new metal stuff that I stick on has a fucking shit ton of ads. Oh, I forgot I got this. 1 hour 33 minutes. Excellent. This doesn't have all the segments in the other ones. There might be ads, but we'll see. It's not like we're not used to ads. This is definitely our vibe, nigga. Yes! Right. Should sip my tea and get some goo on this parrot. Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Where's my rag? So far, so good. It's not bad. Right, the rag is in place. Get some goo. What was I using? Did I use? Oh, I used a full pallet last time, didn't I? I used a full pallet. Painting goo goo goo. Right, some yarrow. Some red. It's not bad. Painting goo 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 goo. Huh. All right, we got the red. We got the blue, and we got the yellow. Oh no, did I left the white uncapped shit? It's still liquid though. How dare I? I only fucking filled these as well. After leaving the thing with no lid on, like. That shows you how intensely gooey that stuff is, though. Hasn't dried up, like. Oh, the brack has farted. The brack. The big fat brack has farted on the parrot. Disgusting. Oh, there it goes again. Oh! Oh, it just got worse! Oh, dear God! Two Acre and D-Bears after putting in the telegram. Goo today? It's live now, you fool! Oh, it's his birthday! As the royal Jesus Christ, how did you even spell that? Meteorological advisor, this music is Desmondo approved. Is that supposed to be meteorological or like metallurgical? Meteorological. Meteorological. That is ridiculous. Gassy brack. Must be all the fried chicken. It's fried rice, you plick. It's a Chinese, not Japanese. That's hilarious. It's his birthday today. Oh, that's gas. Right, where's my bitches? Painting goo goo goo. Bit of fucking. That gave me like what are they called? Oh, what are they called? Through Fire and Flames, or like Dragon Force. That gave me Dragon Force vibes. Through Fire and Flames is ridiculous. Dragon Force are a hilarious band. Right, I need to make some pepper. So we get some Sky Brew. We got some Sky Brew. Clean the bitch. My nose is itchy. Still very blue. It's just blue. It's not purple. I don't know why I find it so hard to make purple. Like a nice... I always make a really dark purple. I'm gonna try and make a nice, like, bright, rich purple. Yes, this is very Dragon Force inspired. That real, like, epic fucking... Ugh. Gepu. Oh, God! Popcorn. Yeah, like, I'm after making purple, but it's very dark. And I'm using a light blue. I must just be using way too much red. Need to do more gradually. I'm too liberal with my colors. Ah, Grifu-sama! Welcome! Brachis pepper. It's really dark. That's a bit better. Still very dark though. Now we're leaning into like aubergine kind of fucking aubergine. Hello, fellow legends of Japanoidvir. Japanoidvir is a hilarious name for the Japanoid village. Japanoidvir. Just gonna use a little bit of white. Tiny bit. And immediately turns to lilac. I need to learn how to mix a proper purple. I want this fucker to be a bit brighter. I'm just gonna cheat. I'm just gonna use pink. Seriously, hot pink is one of my favorite colors. It's just like, it's intense. Maybe I should have just made it pink and then gone from there. Yeah, that's a nice color. You want to be bright purple, you know? Like proper pimpin' purple. Not like dark leather purple or... It's like the same fucking... It's like the same purple me ma's old Honda Civic was. It's like, that's not purple. Like it is, don't get me wrong, but like... It's more like what? Like a deep violet. Yeah, deep violet is more like what I keep fucking making. Kind of want to put a little bit more blue back in this. It would appear this one does not have Adzu. Excellent. Oh, there we go, yeah. That's more like it. Excellent. Right, we're trying to make this the medium. Oh shit! Where did I put that? Right in the middle. I'll fix that later. I just like stabbed the canvas with a big purple blotch. Like. Oh. It'll be a very purple squid, me Reiki.
Where the fuck is 2acre? Is there goo today? I swear, that chap's hilarious.
Some nice shit. Even if it is like AI generated or whatever. Very good matter. I Reiki.
PEINTEINGU goo goo goo. PEINTEINGU goo goo goo.
There is Margio-sama and Emmanuel. There's Stabaru-sama. What has happened? Is the world firing apart and I don't know yet? Right, now we go darker and brighter. We'll go darker first. Must keep goo wet. Squirt, squirt. PEINTEINGU goo goo goo. Alright, I'm gonna make some pink. Put it over here. Little bit too pale. More red.
This thing says Savage Metal Gym. Like, it's like lots of piano in it and shit. Like, that's hilarious.
False advertising.
Paintingu goo goo. Paintingu goo goo.
Looking good.
Ooh, recipe.
Right, now we go darker.
Do 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 do.
The Japanites have a lost honor this day. Margio-sama, Imariwa-sama, Saburo-sama, Tueguru-sama, on his birthday, must commit seppuku. They have dishonored Paintingu this day. It's always nice when you haven't listened to something before and you're like, let's check this out. It's like, not bad! I wonder if that's how whoever made this gets around the whole ads thing or something. They like cut it off before it finishes. I've heard of shit like that before, where it's like if it's only so long, or if you cut it a certain way and all that. It's mad how some people have figured out how to get around certain things, like. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Kind of eyes shall I give him? Deep red eyes? Green, green, green goes with purple. Luminous neon green eyes from the depths of the Archeon. Painting goo goo, goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo, painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. There's like loads of piano in this. I love it. It's deadly. It really switches up the pace.
Ah, Margie, you arrive! I was getting worried.
I have awakened the brown beneath the purple on the parrot. Shit! There was some leftover goo on the parrot. Scheiße. Let's see if Bob Ross is right. The whole no mistakes, only happy accidents thing. Just have a big puddle of brown in the middle of my purple. How dare I? Managed to make a decently vibrant purple just there. Just whack whack. Oh yeah, that's... It's a bit better actually. Oh! Breast-a-me. My eyes aren't open yet. Did you have a rate right last night? Jeez, that's hard to say in Japan. Did you have a rate night last night, Marju? Were you up rate? I was. I was up very rate last night. Too fucking rate. Paintingu. Huh. I must say, I'm quite enjoying painting this squidoo, which is quite funny considering Japanese squids, Asian shit. It's fitting. Perhaps I was actually Japanese in a former life. My Siberian Husky kept waking me up to go out and then back in a few times. Ah, your doggy need to pitter. Yes. Is he getting old? You can't hold it, so he has to go out at night. all dogs are sweet. They really are. Like, I like when I was witnessing my dog get on in age, and she was like, you know, starting to fade and stuff, and do like, I think I mentioned this on the stream before, where like there came a point where like every so often she'd just like walk into a room and look at you, and then just like shit all over the place. Like, without, like, squatting or anything, like, she'd just look you dead in the eye, and then you'd just see on the ground, like, piss and shit and all, like, because she just lose control of her bowels. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed. There's a dog just coming into the room, and you know the way dogs, they do that head tilt. They look at you like, you know, they tilt their head. There was a few times where she walked into the sitting room and just tilted her head at me. And without moving, just like shot all over the place. Like violently, like, you know, just maintaining eye contact, like, just like, like, I just look at her like, oh jeez. Like, while laughing at the same time. Oh, it's funny stuff. It was required of me to perform late night showering and uncovering of my chariot. Much snow has blanketed the landscape. Or at least you actually get like fluffy white snow and shit. Like, at least it's like beautiful looking and stuff. Like, we just get this like grey, miserable, godless fucking wasteland. Like, it's horrible looking right now. It's gas, like, when the weather's like this, but it's grey and wet and miserable and cold, it's so depressing to the mood, like. But when it's just like a typically, like, it doesn't even have to be like a really hot day or like a beautiful day. It could just be a nice day here, and it's beautiful looking. Absolutely beautiful looking. But when it's shit, it's shit. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. That's how it should be. It's balanced. She's only 4, but she might be wanting to go out and chase a wild animal or something. You must discipline her! You must discipline her, Mario. You need your sleep. Especially now. Old people need their rest more than anyone. Actively shitting while maintaining eye contact is a power move. I know, she'd be like looking at you being like, are you gonna deal with this? Are you gonna deal with this? You have to deal with this. I'm not dealing with it. I can't. I'm infirm. Like, I'm elderly. Like, my dog had a hilarious attitude. Like when my parents got her neutered, and she came back with the cone on her head and all. Like, I had her out the back garden. She was just lying out in the sun, just relaxing. This is about like a week after she'd had the surgery, and I was just petting her, and was it me or someone else? I can't remember, but I think I was petting her and she was alright. But then I think either somebody else petted her, and like she fucking like she got real vicious. Like she turned wild for a sec, like you know, like you know, proper baring the teeth and gnarling and all. Like took a firm snap, and I was just like, "Ooh, somebody's grumpy." Like, but it's like, you know, it's fucking understandable. Like the animal has a degree of intellect and awareness, you know, and like you just took it to a place that's like strange and uncomfortable, and then like knocked it out, and then like butchered it basically, in a sense. Like, you know, I don't know, like there's so many like the female was watching this show on Netflix called The Resident, or she is watching it, but she was watching it last night, and like on the one hand I'm like, wow, prosthetic special effects have really come a long way, where they can have like a prosthetic baby and it looks like almost real, you know, and they're like operating on it and shit. There's like a tiny little heart and stuff and all, like, which is like, in a sense, you know, very impressive as far as like artistry goes, and like the industry of the technology and the skill required to meticulously create some kind of mold or like lifelike doll like that or whatever, you know. It's impressive. But then on the other end, I was like, it's almost like when certain movies like Saw or something, or fucking what was that, Hostel, like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's like, just because you can make it really convincing looking doesn't mean you should. Like, there's plenty of things that I watch or have watched over the years where I'm like, why? Like, this was a good movie or a good TV show up until you did that. Now I'm like, and I'm not saying The Resident is a good show. It's not. It's full of propaganda, and it's like so shit in terms of like suspending your disbelief. It's ridiculous. But I understand why women like it. It's just drama, you know, like, which is what they want, you know. Hostel was brutal for no reason. Yeah, it was just like obscenely violent, and like there wasn't really, like, I suppose there was a narrative excuse for that, because there was like a bunch of elite high rollers who were paying to kill tourists or anyone really, like, you know, that they could get away with killing. And like, I'd well believe that there's some places like that exist out in the world, like, do you know what I mean? I don't think that's just some sort of twisted fabrication that your man, the director Eli Roth, came up with. It's probably like embellished and like, you know, like they do with everything, like, you know, it's like based on a true story or whatever, and it's like you find out a lot of it is like, it's not just embellished, it's like straight up, it didn't go down like that, like, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if there are like underground businesses like that out there, where they're like I've heard of places in Thailand where like there's like a shooting range, and if you pay a bit extra money, they'll let you like shoot a cow with an RPG or a 50 cal or something, like, you know. There's always going to be places like that where there's like, because they're providing a service, you know. It's like porn. The reason porn is so prevalent is because people like it, they want it, you know. But it's just like heroin. Just because people like heroin and want heroin doesn't mean heroin is a good thing that we should have in our communities, you know. Or cocaine or something, like, you know. Personally, I think cocaine is actually quite benign. I just think it makes people really hyper. Like, you know, like, it's not like that bad, but you, like, because of the way people take it and because of the lifestyle and the environment that people tend to be associated with as a result of doing cocaine, you end up with a lot of people who wouldn't mind spiking said material for for all sorts of purposes, whether to cut it down and make more money or to fuck someone up, like, you know. And you can do the same with heroin and all this shit. Like technically you could do the same with weed or something. You know, if you really knew what you're doing, you could spray some hemlock on somebody's ganj. But like, when you get handed ganj, you're like, yeah, it's ganj, you know. I remember one time we actually got handed a bag of grass. Like actual, just like grass, like run of the mill, like, you know, the type that goats eat grass. Swear to God. Oh. And then another time we got handed one. I think it was around the first, like when I first started smoking, I was like fucking 18 or something. We got a bag off of someone that the lads knew, and when we got it home, it was dark in the car, and we didn't really get a good look at it or whatever, and we just wanted to get home. So we got it home, had more of a look at it, and we were like, oh, I don't know about this now. This looks like it could be some legal stuff or some fake shit, like, and we put some of it in a joint. We were smoking it and all, and about like after the first couple of tokes, it was like, nope, yep, that's totally legit. Like, it was very funny. We were so skeptical, like, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know, man, this doesn't look like legit at all, because it didn't, like, there was no buds, it was all leafy, you know. It looked like fucking, it looked like oregano or something, like, you know. But it probably was some sort of legal derivative being passed off as like actual ganj. Either that, or they just had a really powerful plant and they harvested the leaves and shit like that. Because like, that's what I find funny. It's not just the buds. Like, I've seen documentaries where they did some old shit, like in India, where you know, like you can make the hashish, which is like the brown block, which I used to love. I find that a lot calmer and shit, like. And then you got pollen, which is essentially the same as hash, but it's like more, you don't have to like burn it to like make it malleable and shit and all, like. And then you got the tar stuff. They used to call it black squidge because it's black and it's squidgy. It was like mala. What would you guys call it? Play-Doh. It was like Play-Doh. We have a. I don't think that is the brand called mala. No, the brand's called Play-Doh. But I think we used to call mala fucking, or we used to call Play-Doh mala in school. I'm pretty sure it's the Irish, like, term for it. Which I always thought was funny, because, like, you're mauling it with your hands. And it's called mala. Irish language is fascinating. Make artisan organic cocaine great again. That's it. Like, I think it would be possible to live it. Well, obviously it'd be possible, but I don't think it'd be a bad thing at all if a society was disciplined and self-aware enough to, like, you know, the whole thing of, like, you know, giving somebody 10 years for, like, getting caught with a bag of something. That's, like, crazy. I completely agree with Owen when he says stuff like that's, like, wild. Like, putting a man in a cage because he can go to a pub and buy alcohol, and he can go to a fucking shop and buy tobacco, but, like, because you've made other substances illegal, which, to be honest, like, let's not let us not lie here. Like, we all know why they make certain things illegal. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they don't. Like, I'm sure the government, like, grows a fuckload of hemp, you know, but then they're like, oh, well, you know, it's for use with this and this, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, how do you think they make pharmaceutical drugs? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, all known pharmaceutical drugs are derived from plants and, like, minerals and all these things and shit, like, you know, so they have to have the raw materials to be able to produce the pill. So, like, how can I make all this shit illegal for the public to consume it when they're more than likely, like, harvesting the living Christ out of it, like, all over the place? Like, look at the American government with the fucking opium fields in Afghanistan, just growing a dickload of heroin, like, you know, like, you know, like, meanwhile they're like, you know, fucking, oh, like, people look down on, like, drug addicts and scum and all, like, blah blah. It's like, you people are no better, like, you know, like, it's so funny, like. The hypocrisy is hilarious. Getting angry at it serves no purpose. And I'm still learning that lesson. Believe me. Like, do you know what I mean? You can see it in my face. I still get so frustrated with society. at large. Like I experienced this over the weekend. Like I was telling the female fucking I was telling Desmondo as well, actually. Was it yesterday? When I got off the train in Dublin City, so I went from, I live in Tipperary, and I went to Dublin on the train, and as I get off the train, you know, everybody's like, not everybody, but like a lot of people these days are just like so fucking rude and ignorant, and not even in a verbal sense. Their body language and the way they behave in public is just rude. You know, it's uncivilized. And a black woman, you know, typical. I'm not like, you know, like you people here know, but I'm just saying for anybody watching this who doesn't know me or some shit, like I'm not a fucking racist in the way that people think, you know, most people think of racism. Like, you know, I've had black friends, I like black people, I love black culture, I fucking love black comedy. Like, I don't need to explain that to most of you guys watching this, but just to cover the basics. But it is just unfortunately true for blacks, because I'm sure it's embarrassing, that typically, you know, you see a lot of people looting a store, you see a lot of people, like a couple of guys in hoods breaking into like doing a B&E, fucking drive-bys, it's almost always black lads, you know. But this black lady, you know, like not some fucking scumbag with a hoodie up or whatever, just a black woman. The way she walked off the train and then into the flow of people that were walking away from the train into the station, because you know, you all get like funneled through like these the partitions and the scanners and stuff, right? And like step right off the train, I have an old lady beside me, big old lady, like my height, and the old lady moved in front of me, basically because I let her, like, do you know what I mean? I let her move in front of me, and then the black woman just like completely gets in front of her, cuts her off, physically hits her, like, you know, physically bumps off her, and doesn't even react. Is just on her phone wheeling her suitcase going that direction. And the old lady like stopped and like looked at the back of the black woman's head and was like, what the fuck was that about? Like, you know. And I had an overwhelming urge to just be like, you stupid nigger bitch. And like, everybody would have been like, what? Like, but it was overwhelming. It was an overwhelming urge to just be like, you bitch. Like, you fucking, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you struggle to find a word that hits the description of how, like, it's like ignorant, rude, uncivilized, selfish, just like a fucking cunt. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I suppose I could have just said that. I could have just been like, "Oi, you cunt!" But then, like, you know, then everybody would have turned around. Oh, it's just like, it really pissed me off. I don't like seeing that at all. Like, and it was just worse because, like, obviously I would have felt pretty much the same if it was like anyone else, but because it was an old woman, I was just like, you fucking bitch. So rude and ignorant and unaware and like just fucking uncivilized, you know, like just so bet into your own, like so distracted by your own life. Do you know what I mean? Like just looking at your like not to mention the fact that like when you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you're walking with luggage and you people are like bumping, like everybody's like elbow to elbow, right? You don't push and shove, and not only push and shove, but while looking at your phone. Do you know what I mean? So just like pushing out of the way, like you're fucking wading through. Like, it's like they still think they're in the fucking jungle, where it's like they don't, like, an old lady could be a bush or something, like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, like, as far as she's concerned, leaves and branches are just hitting off her, and it's like, whatever. But it's actually people now. It's like, you're in the concrete jungle now, bitch, you fucking goddamn amoeba. So annoying. One of the greatest documentations of the behaviour you're describing in America is of Irish descent, Colin Flaherty. I don't even know where to watch him now if I wanted to. One of the greatest documentarian of the behaviour description. So he has a channel where he talks about that kind of shit. Colin Flaherty. Documentarians, quasi-sociologists, yeah. Like, it is a thing. Like, they're not civilized. And, like, I don't mean in a sense of, like, I'm not speaking of their intellect. Do you know what I mean? Because there's loads of people, there's loads of blacks or whatever, like, you know, the type of people that I know, loads of people, like, fucking, what's that chap's name? The Swiss fella? Was he Swiss? Oh, what's that? Stefan Molyneux. He makes the IQ argument, which, you know, I wouldn't completely disagree with, but, like, it's not like I think she is incapable of comprehending complex and sophisticated ideas. Maybe she is. Maybe she is just fucking stupid. But, like, if your behavior, like, you see, it's both, right? They're rude and uncivilized, and white people are way too polite. White people don't check them on their shit. Like, white people don't turn around. Well, like I do, but like later that day, some fucking Arab lad opened his door while we were driving past and nearly hit the female's car, and I swung the door open. And I was like, "Well, fucking open your eyes, you thick prick!" And like, he didn't even, you know, like, he had no, like, he didn't even turn around. You know, everybody turns around when somebody roars. When somebody's like, "Hey!" Everybody, like, looks, because it's like, what's going on over there? Like, and you can tell that they're foreign, because they don't give a fuck. It's like they're used to just chaos. They're used to just chaos. So they just, like, they walk around as if, you know, other people, like, don't matter or exist in the same regard. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if they'd walk past a corpse, but, like, I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Like, he did a ton of very interesting work videos all about blacks, black criminality and violence, etc., particularly when aimed at unsuspecting or overly polite, tolerant whites. Yeah, like, they kind of have a point. Do you know what I mean? From their perspective, it's like, well, if you're not going to do anything about it, you're weak. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you have it coming. There is that kind of argument, but it's very, like, it's obvious that they don't have they have no self-awareness in that regard, collectively, where it's like, but you're acting like animals. But it's like, yeah, but they let us act like animals. It's like, no, like, you have free will, you're in control. Like, if just be, it's like what I said earlier on. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just because you can rob stuff from the shop doesn't mean you should. Just because you can walk in with a black bag and rob loads of stuff and nobody will stop you doesn't mean you should. It's like, and then, like, it's times like that where I'm like, yeah, maybe it is an intellect thing, because it's like, you literally can't comprehend. But I'm telling you now, most of the time, I think I think they're evil, in a very like, really low grade evil, you know, because they have to know somewhere deep down that, like, what they're doing is, like, fucked up and selfish, and they just don't care, because that's just how they are, and that's what they've, like, grown up with or whatever. Like, it's fascinating, like, because it's not like, you know, it's not all encompassing. It's not like, as a white person, all foreigners are, like, criminally, like, you know, inclined and retarded. Like, that's just simply not true. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of foreigners are, like, really well educated and intelligent and shit. Just depends on where they're coming from, like, you know. But that's the thing, is, like, you have all this mass immigration coming from locations that are, like, hellholes. You know, like, or these poor people who live in a war-torn area, they need our help. It's like, no, they fucking don't. Like, that's their problem. Why are you bringing their problems here? You're spreading the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're allowing criminals to, like, move around. Like, do you know what I mean? It's, like, so stupid. And, like, and it's so obvious that it's just simply for profit. Because if you were to think about it for 5 fucking minutes, you'd be like, yeah, sure, we'd make a lot of money, but wouldn't we, like, destroy the culture and fucking, like, you know, everything that's been happening the past 20 years, like, by just, like, allowing all of these crazy psychos in, and, like, it's mad. Like don't, like, there are people that integrate, there are people that, like, benefit the country that they integrate into, like, do you know what I mean? And that's simply a reality as well. Like, but it's just so fucked up that the propaganda is, like, the propaganda is just totally one-sided. Like the whole fucking South Africa thing. It's like, if a white guy was on mainstream somehow got onto mainstream television right now, right, and was like, I want to kill all the black farmers, and, like, had thousands of people being like, kill the black farmers, kill the black farmers, kill the black farmers, we're gonna kill the black farmers, kill the black farmers dog, kill the black farmers daughter, kill it. Because that's what they're doing in South Africa. They have these huge fucking stadiums full of black lads being like, kill the Boer, kill the Boer, and it's like, they're talking about killing white people, the white farmers. So it's like, they can be, never mind verbally racist, but they can, like, openly declare that they are going to commit genocide. And people are like, yeah, so some mad shit going on in South Africa right now, like, you know what I mean? But if a white guy, like, did the exact same thing, there would be fucking uproar, like, you know what I mean? Like, kill the black farmers, kill the black farmers. They'd be like, oh my god, oh, like, you know, the pearl clutching would fucking be like, it'd be so fucking intense. Like, that's what I think is so fucking funny. Like, it's like society, like, I've said this before, it's like, part of me thinks that the people at the top who are, like, getting information from demons in another realm or some shit, like, I think they're fucking women. Cause, like, the place could only be this fucked up if it was run by crazy bitches. But maybe it is run by crazy bitches, but they're just males, you know? Bitches in the sense of, like, cowards, you know? But I really wouldn't be surprised to find out that there's, like, a bunch of fucking women doing all this. Like, seriously wouldn't be surprised. Like, cause it's just wild. Like, when I see those videos of all these, like, all these black lads over in South Africa, like, you know, and the stories you hear of, like, what they do to the farmers and their families and all, you're talking, like, you know, proper horror, like war crimes, like fucking full-on war crimes of, like, you know, raping and butchering and burning the bodies and all this fucking shit. Like that fucking crap is going on. But, like, you're not gonna see, like, an American, like, you're not gonna see CNN turn around and be like, oh, look how horrible this is. Like, do you know what I mean? They're just gonna talk about how racist Trump is or something. Like, do you know, about Trump is so racist, he's a bigot, racist, homophobe. But they won't talk about, like, that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's so, like, it's mad. Like there are so many ways. Like, if say you were gonna try and not necessarily wake somebody up or give them the red pill, but say you were gonna try and just, like, have a conversation with someone who was, like, very ignorant and liberal, you know, and try and give them an example of, like, well, what about this then? Do you know what I mean? The South Africa situation is fucking wild when you, like, take into account how many for how many years all of us whites, all of us Westerners have been like, and especially our like, you know, like all the collectively society, like our children in colleges and universities being told like colonizer, racist colonizer, like, and you're like, okay, so so my ancestors are racist colonizers. What the fuck are the South Africans like? You know, what are they then? Like, do you know what I mean? Oh, what they're doing is justified because they're racist colonizers. Yeah, but the dudes farming now there are not racist colonizers. They're farmers. And the dudes taking back the farms aren't using the farms. They're just butchering everyone. And they're so fucking retarded they don't even know how to farm. It's like, we can see why Iran left South Africa. Like, yeah, like your man, was it Serpent ZA or Serpenza or whatever way you say it? Fucking that YouTube guy who he moved from South Africa years ago and he went to live in China. Like the fucking shit you hear about China. The fucking shit you hear about China and the Communist Party and all this fucking shit. And this nigga left South Africa to go live in China. like, like, fucking wild, man. Shit's insane, like. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot, like, if there was, say, like I don't personally think this, but like, there's a small part of me that's like, oh, maybe maybe another 10 years it could get really bad. But like, if there was enough foreigners in Ireland, I think it's at like 20%, which is fucking crazy at the moment. It's crazy. But like, you could end up with a full-on race war depending on the place. Do you know what I mean? Because like, people don't realise how scummy Irish scumbags can be. Irish scumbags are a particular brand of scumbaggery. You know, like you've got the ones that are like cowards and opportunists, but then you've got the ones that are like full-on psychos who like, it's like that, they're almost like cartels. You know, you wouldn't even class them as scum, you'd class them as like very dangerous criminals. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's areas there for years. There's been areas in like that I know of, definitely in Dublin, parts of Dublin. I don't know about other places, but I can imagine like Limerick or whatever. Like, there's places where the guards don't go, and we've an unarmed population. You know, supposedly for the most part. Like, but there's places where the guards just won't go in because like they'll just get shot at, or they'll get pulled out with a car and killed. And like nothing will be done because it's like, what, you're gonna go in and arrest like the whole housing estate? Do you know what I mean? Like when you don't have the manpower to pull something like that off, you just like stay out of an area, you know? It's crazy, like it's crazy the shit that goes on, like, and just nobody talks about it. Like, well, like it's not that nobody talks about it. You'll only hear stuff like that in pubs, you know, which is like I'd say one of the reasons, like. Obviously one of the reasons why your man Keir Starmer, the English fella, the fucking, that's not a British name, I don't care what anyone says, that guy's not British, the current Prime Minister of England or whatever, he's a fucking psycho faggot by the looks of it. He was talking about like, you know, shutting down pubs and like totally altering pub culture, because like they make his like office or him is like making the argument that pubs are just like typically places for extremists to like talk about, you know, their extremism and shit. Like fucking wild like. And of course like they're saying that stuff. It's like, oh, we're gonna get like, you know, get rid of pubs or whatever, public houses, and because dangerous right-wing ideologies are present in these places and stuff. Like, so it's like right there you admit that your ilk do not congregate in public houses. Like, think about that. Like, so, like, you have an elite, essentially, like, you know, like, what would you call them? Like, you know, fucking a class, a different social economic class. Talking about shutting down pubs, or at least changing them in such a way that they're fundamentally different. And, like, I think he actually said he was going to ban, like, talking about politics in pubs or some shite like that. Like, and, like, how can you, like, when you have political leaders, when you have, like, leaders of countries talking about banning people's speech, like, for any reason, like, do you know what I mean? Like, like, you're kind of, it's that kind of self-reporting. It's kind of like, we are so corrupt and we are losing control so rapidly, and we are so desperate to shut down dissent and to shut down potential chaos for us. You know, don't get it, would be chaos on both sides for a while, but it's mainly for them. It's like they don't want to lose power, they don't want to lose standing, they don't want to lose, you know, the faith of the sheep that still believe in them or whatever like that. Like, they just fucking lie about everything, and then we'll turn around and say something like that, where, like, pubs are places where people with extreme views can gather and talk. Like, that is communism. Like, the British Prime Minister now sounds like the shit I heard about Russia and the USSR growing up, where it's like, if you say this, your family and your friends will report you to the police because they are so terrified if they don't, and the government finds out that you did this or said that in public and they didn't report you, that they'll be fucking hung as well, you know? So you get all these, like, situations where family members will, like, it happened in COVID. It happened during COVID, like, you know, where people were like, you know, my brother's not vaccinated, he's gonna kill our grandmother, like, mad shit. Mad fucking shit, like I seriously wouldn't be surprised if I've suffered a little bit of PTSD, like, because of the whole COVID thing. Where, like, when I'm on a plane now, or like an airport or a train station or some shit, there's loads of people walking around. I get this sense of disgust, and I've heard Owen talk about this, like, where he's like, you know, I'm trying to work on my disgust or something, and I was like, thinking to myself, like, you know, I don't think I get disgusted, but, like, I definitely get, like, frustrated or, like, angry or something. And I swear to God, since I went to Portugal, and now since I, like, you know, took the train a few places, like, in the last few weeks or months, I completely agree with him. And I'll have to work on it myself now, because it really does, like, the level of cortisol in me, or whatever, like, what, you know, I don't know if it is cortisol, it could be fucking any kind of hormone or whatever. I'm not educated in that sense, but, like, there is definitely a sense of, like, angst and, like, like they're the enemy or something, where I'm just like, you people are all potentially, like, so fucking retarded that you could get me killed. Like, in some kind of random scenario that I wouldn't be able to, like, predict, like, do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm, like, anxious around groups now. I don't think it's that. But I definitely do get, like, a bit like, because it was, like, when I seen that black woman, like, shove past the old lady, I was like, that's what it is. It's disgust. It's that, like, oh my God, we need to get rid of you. But not, like, blacks or Arabs or Pakis or, like, any of these, like, potentially derogatory terms, or, like, just the name, like, you know, it's like, how can calling somebody a Jew be, like, an insult when, like, that's what they call themselves? Like, how? You're a Jew. Oh, how dare you? No, like, you're wearing a yarmulke, so you're a Jew, like, you know. Like, it's the same with, like, all these others. It's like, oh well, like you probably don't know how to. You shouldn't be around nightclubs. You shouldn't be around schools because you're from one of them Arab places. It's like, how dare you be so racist? It's like, no, dude. Like literally, you like ancestrally, genetically, and culturally, you can't handle being around bitches in miniskirts and all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you'll start sweating, fucking, like, not being able to control yourself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it makes sense. It's like, if they wrap their women up, like, fucking in bin bags, so that, like, oh, no, I cannot even see a woman's cleavage, a woman's neck. I can't see the neck. No flesh. I will lose my shit. I will lose my shit. I will rape. If I see skin, I will rape. So, we need to wrap them up. It's the only solution. It's like, it's self-reporting again. It's like, your culture is so fucking backwards and so fucking like crazy in that regard that you don't even realize how weak you are, that you can't even control your impulses as men. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the advantage that Western men have. That's how you make like an empire like Britain or Rome. Do you know what I mean? That's how you end up with like really strong, powerful leaders. Is because men are able to use their will and discipline to control their impulses and shit like that. Like, you know, it's like, it's just so obvious. So why are all these women getting raped when we let all these Arabs in? It's like, are you fucking retarded? Could you imagine being him? And you've never seen that much flesh just wantonly strolling about the place, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and like Western women can be like real slutty and flirty and all, especially when they're drunk. Do you know what I mean? So imagine being one of them lads. You don't even have to be like, you know, one of the rapey, degenerate ones who are like, you know, genuinely dangerous. What if you're just like your average Arab dude whose parents have like moved and like, you know, tried to have a better life for you in a European country or whatever like that? Your culture alone will have like raised you in such a way, to a degree at least, where like you would find it like way more jarring to your like nervous system, to your like way more stimulating to be around this stuff that other white lads, like, you know, like especially these days, you'd be like, oh, what's the matter? You never seen a fucking pair of tits before? What the fuck are you? A fag? You a virgin, are you? Like, I've been watching porn since I was 14, or you're like fucking 12 probably these days. The first time I saw a porn video, I was around 14, and it was on one of those old Nokias. And it was one of those scenarios where I was like, one of the lads was like, lads, check this out. And we're all like huddled around his phone, and the screen's like this big, it's all pixelated. It's like, what's that? And you look close and you're like, oh shit, that's like a naked woman being pounded, like. It was jarring. It's fucking jarring. And I was a Westerner. Do you know what I mean? Growing up like middle class 90s West, like, and I was still like, whoa, that's intense, you know? So imagine what it's like for them. Of course they can't handle it. You can't to expect them to be able to handle something like that is ignorant. It shows your ignorance of their culture. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's the same with the blacks and all, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not like, because there's a difference between loads of the blacks that are like American blacks, and then all the blacks that are like come from like Nigeria, Uganda, Africa, Rwanda. Like, you know, I know Africa includes all of them, but like, it's like it genuinely does depend on the country. Not all of Africa is fucked, you know. A lot of it is, but like not all of it. Like, from what I've heard anyway, like from what I've seen and what I've heard, not all of Africa is fucked. Not all of everywhere is fucked, because that's the impression you get. You see these fucking truther videos like, oh, Ireland is lost, England is Britain, the British Empire is gone, it's all lost. Like, it's like, no, it's not. It's just widespread degeneracy and chaos. Like, that is the reality. Is like, we are dealing with widespread degeneracy and chaos. And coming from like a former, like a just like a stoner gamer, like, that's hilarious. That I'm like that I'm like, here lads, like this is a bit fucked up, like when I would have no bother like 7 years ago just spending the whole day playing zombie shooters, smoking an ounce, you know. So it's not like I'm fucking like, I'm not like some kind of shining bright light of fucking morality and all this bollocks, like totally far from it. Like I am a honest, like traumatized, half demonic mortal. Like I'm aware of my demons, like that I have demons, that I have problems, that I have like shit that I need to handle, that I need to learn how to control, like all these fucking things. Like those people are not like, they are not like us, you know. There's loads of them out there that are not like us, and that's one of the reasons I like Vox and his community and shit. Is like, you need to be aware that like they hate you. They hate you, you know. And if they don't hate you, they're too stupid to, you know, change their behavior. So they may as well hate you, you know. Like, and I know people that hear that, like, you know, and be like, oh god, like, you know, doom and gloom and all. Like, if I think it makes it easier. I think it makes it much easier to be like, no, there are, like, life in general is not black and white. It is grey. It is the balance between black and white, good and evil, all that shit. Life in general. But there are some things in life that are just black, and there are some things in life that are just white. Like, that is also true. And when it comes to situations like that, like the trans movement with the kids and all that bollocks, or like all this immigration and stuff like that, we have all this fucking crime and all these like beautiful, you know, white blonde-haired European women being brutally murdered and raped and all this shit. Like, it's collectively all our fault. It's not like, you can't like point the finger and blame anyone, be like, oh, it's them. It's not the Jews. It's not demons. It's not fucking Nazis. It's us. It's you. It's me. It's like everyone collectively just being like complacent, lazy, fucking cowardly, fucking like everybody's like contributed in their own way. I've contributed by being lazy. I have contributed by being I played the victim for a few years, being like, oh, can't get a job, can't do this and all. Like, so I had a victim narrative and I was lazy. That's how I contributed to the current like fucked up fall of society. Like, we've all played a part in this. Nobody is exempt from this at all. Like, but like, fuck all people would even have the balls to be like, oh no, yeah, like I've definitely contributed to like this. There are people out there, these like, you know, oh, you know, God's on my side because I'm a good boy, like. And sure, then you have the fuckers that are genuinely just like, no, I hate this place, I hate you guys, and I'm gonna make damn sure that like I'm gonna kill as many as I can and take yous with me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, which to me isn't surprising. Like, when you have a fucking sick society with all these problems and shit, you're going to get some people who are just broken and infested with demons to the point where they're gonna go shoot up a school, you know? It just makes sense to me, like. I'm sure there's some decent stockpiles the gypsies or travellers have at the guards don't know. No, yeah, don't get me wrong, there's loads of guns in Ireland and loads of people have guns and stuff, you know? Like, I know people who own loads of guns. And it's legal, you know? There's an Irish Riflemen's Association, like, you know, it's just a lot of paperwork, a lot of waiting, like all this shit, like. But in fairness, it should be like that, because you shouldn't be giving just random Irish people these days like access to firearms, because we're filled with scum and nutcases, you know. It's just a reality. Like, it should be difficult and time consuming to own a firearm in this context now, like. But you're also right that it was like ridiculously retarded for us to give up our weapons in the first place, as a society, as a culture. So fucking stupid. Like, you'd have to be strapped living the lifestyle they do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like most of them would have like shotguns, rifles, and shit. Like, yeah, you lose your right to arms. You lose your but that's the thing, isn't it? It's like that's why I find rights fascinating. You know, people talk about it's a human right. They have the right. It's like, it's quite often people who are grifting for some reason telling people that they have the right to something. Do you know what I mean? Because like nobody has rights. Nobody has a right to anything. Like, really. Do you know what I mean? Because you could go into like, you know, what does it mean to possess land? Like, do you own the land and all that shit? Like legally you own it, but literally you don't. You know, like literally you don't own the land. It's not yours. You're just there and you're doing stuff on it. Now you have legal jurisdiction to it because of the rules we all agree to, you know, adhere by. But like, it can't belong to you. You know, you cannot possess a part of the realm. You can claim to, you know, and other people can dispute your claim and all this fucking bureaucratical, conceptual bollocks, like, you know, but like, really, literally, all you're doing is this. All you're doing is talking. I own this. It's mine. Prove it. Prove that it's yours. Well, if you try take it from me, I'll kill you. You know, like, and like, that's not to, like, if somebody put their hands on my missus, I'd fuck them up. If somebody stole something from me, I'd fuck them up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like I don't agree with the whole, like, no, yeah, that is mine. But I'm just being honest about the concept of it, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and like, maybe that does show that I have a certain level of an intellect to be able to understand these things or comprehend these things and so on and so forth. Because I can imagine there'd be a load of people that'd be like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean I don't own it? I have a fucking piece of paper with ink on it that says I own it. You fucking retard. It's like, yeah, well, trust me, I'm not the retarded one here. Right. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I spent a lot of time in India and would often spend time at an ashram where all women, even Westerners, were covered by their very modest standards. Yeah, and now you have all the Pajeets being like, show me the bob and vagine. Show me the bob and vagine. Because they're like, see, I think like, religion is so dangerous, right? Because like, not we collectively, but like, alright, so like these Muslim religions, and even like Christians too, because Christians believe in modesty and all that shit. Like, and I don't disagree with modesty. I don't, for lots of reasons. However, there is something to be said about the argument of like, if you had like take the Christians, right? Your origin story is two naked people in a garden. Two naked people in a garden, right? Who become aware and then are like, oh no, our bits are showing. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I don't like it. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would be ashamed of your own body if we're like conscious. Like, if we're conscious and aware and we look around and we're like, okay, animals, okay, what are we then? Are we apart from animals? No, we've loads of similarities with animals. Like, if I could put a pig's heart in your chest and it works, then like, we are not far from animals, you know? We may be different in a way. We have an aspect of us that makes us quite different from most animals. But we do research all the time where we realize that like, animals have intellect and consciousness comparable to a child sometimes, you know? Which means they have computational ability, they have the ability to remember things, understand things, define things, like all this fucking shit. Like, so like, if the animals have no shame in their physical appearance, you know, like, even though they have mating rituals, So at the same time, animals can differentiate between each other. They recognize a different face from a different face. They know which one is their mate and which one is their rival and which one is trying to, you know, take their mate and all this fucking shit. So they're totally aware of all that shit. But they don't feel the need for, like, coverings. Like, if a monkey can use a stick to test the depth of a pond before he tries to cross it, like, and they're not the only things. Like, apparently there's some forms of crocodiles that will bait antelope out with, like, fucking reeds and stuff. Like, crows, magpies will assemble shiny things in their fucking nests to attract females. You know, like, all of these behaviors show me that they have a value system, you know, of aesthetics. They value certain aesthetics, you know. Ooh, bright colors. That's why you have all these tropical birds in, like, the Amazon and shit that are, like, insane plumage, like a peacock or some shit, like, because the bigger your fucking flashiness is, the more attractive you are to a partner and all this fucking shit. Like, we do the same fucking stuff, so we can't be that different. Like, do you know what I mean? We're just more sophisticated and, like, a little bit more creative and shit, like, in the way we do things. And maybe we're not. Maybe it was all given to us. And, you know, the whole Prometheus thing of, like giving fire to man and all. Like I would totally believe that we were comparable to monkeys at one point. You know, a kind of Neanderthal-esque fucking, like, ooga booga, like, just clubs and shit, painting on walls with hands and stuff. Very, very simple, basic shit, like monkeys, but not actually monkeys. You know, like, it would make total sense to me that a superior race or god or entity or something just took monkeys and snakes or something and just, like, put them together genetically. I was like, that'll make a fine slave. And they haven't been back for a while, you know, or we just never see them. It's just, like, it's hilarious to me how they make up all these arguments and shit, like, you know, for modesty and shit like that. Like, but, like, where's the modesty in, like, what Owen says? Like, where's the modesty in displaying a dead man in front of children? Look at him. That is Jesus. Your sins did that to him. It's like, I'm 5, nigga. The fuck did I do? Like, it's crazy. I know I've said this a few times now, but, like, that's what, like, fundamentally I think that, like, the whole realm is just afflicted with a form of madness right now. Like maybe that is what, like, that's what people need to be unplugged from, is their delusion, their fucking, you know, dreamlike hallucination. That's what people need to be fucking woken from or unplugged from. Is, like, it's not even like a you know, a matrix is like, you must be unplugged from the construct, like, everything you believe is a lie and all that shit. It's like, no, just stop being an animal. Which is ironic, because, like, I think that we have set ourselves apart from nature to such a degree that we have forgotten the parts of nature that make us good people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we have forgotten what makes us human. And what makes us human is our similarities to the animals. Like, look at what we're doing now, where we have these huge buildings, floor after floor after floor, with all this just windows and fucking chairs, desks, and it's like a beehive, you know? So a city is a hive of humans. It's not a community. It's not a society. It's not a village, you know, like, it's not a family. It is a concrete and steel container for a type of human. And it is a type of human that has been subjugated by their own delusions and own, like, inability to see what they're fucking doing and shit. Like, it's both. It's like, some of us will see other people like we were saying earlier on, where it's like, you know, it's fucking like there's loads of evidence of this where like if somebody doesn't fight back or if somebody doesn't do anything, like, you know, a group of black lads will like fuck with them more, you know. Oh, pussy ass bitch, give me that shit, give me your shoes, nigga, give me your shoes, give me your fucking shoes, give me your shoes. Then you give them the shoes. I was like, give me a wallet, give me like, and then if you let them, they'll take everything from you. If you let them, they'll kill you, you know. But if you fought back, like that's how they're like animalistic. It's like, oh, if I show you that 2 or 3 of you might die in the process of trying to rob me, you won't rob me because you're all cowards. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like hyenas, like scavengers and like, you know, opportunists and stuff like that. Like, it's, I kind of just completely lost my train of thought there, but it's like it that's how I see it, is like in an attempt to be like, oh, we're going to progress and we're going to use technology and like, you know, we are not like, we're not animals, we're human. But a human is a type of animal. Do you know what I mean? Like another self-reporting again. It's like you are so arrogant. You are so blinded by the fact that you have been born into this, that some of us are like, but we are human. That's inhumane. What you're doing there is inhumane. Well, what is human? Human is just a type of animal. That's all we are. Oh, we were created by God. So was everything else. Yes, but we were created at a certain point with a certain purpose. So was everything else. The bee, the bull, the bird was all created for a purpose at a point by something, a grand divine creator. It would seem, allegedly. It's so fucking retarded to be like, but we're human. It's like, what does that even fucking mean? You don't know where we came from. You don't know who made us. You don't know any of this fucking shit. So to claim that as some kind of moral or fucking superior ability to grandstand over others is just, or animals even, is so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. The level of idiocy. Like we're living in the idiocracy. I was watching this video by fucking upper echelon gamers last night on YouTube, and it's like 20 minutes long, and it's so true. It's like we are literally living, and I've never even seen that movie, never even seen Idiocracy, seen clips of it, and it's so fucking true. We're not that far from fucking, like, McDonald's were handing out vaccines. Do you really think it's that long before Starbucks starts fucking giving people blowjobs? You know, would you like some sexual gratification with your pumpkin latte? We're not that far from that. And there's going to be loads of people who like there is a small part of me that's like, yeah, that'd be great, yeah. Imagine how cool it'd be to walk into a fucking coffee shop and like, not only do you get a fucking really nice coffee, but some young one just bumps you off too. Oh, it'd be so like, there's a market for that. Why do you think all these married men get massages in Thailand? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, there are loads of us who are weak, degenerate, filthy scumbags and won't admit it, or are totally okay with being like that. And I'm not. I'm sure like a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys are like me. That's why we're in the fucking bear community. But some of you aren't, like Margie and shit. Manuel. It's like, I have done some degenerate shit. I've done some fucked up shit. I've, like, you know, kind of slipped in some to demonic realms and stuff like that a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. Enough to be like, I fucking no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Fuck that. Like you look down the tunnel a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like that dude's story at the P. Diddy party where he's like, I walked up the stairs and the second I turn left, I see 2 dudes banging on a sofa. And I was just like, no, I'm out of here. Like, I've been in situations like that where like I see something at a gaff party or a nightclub or like, you know, even like fucking when we used to just go drinking in the fields and stuff, you'd see like two people that fuck off into a bush or something. You're just like, Jesus, like fucking. I've had plenty of moments where I'm like apart from the group, where like I'm sitting in a group of my friends and we're all drinking and smoking and some of us are playing music and blah blah. And I would quite often have moments where I would just like, there would be this like, it's like the air goes out of the room and I get like this vacuum where it's like my perspective zooms out and I'm just like looking around and I'm like, you're lying, and we know you're lying, but we don't want to deal with that right now. Everybody knows you're cheating on her. Everybody knows you're a pussy, but like we don't mention it. Like, it's like I would constantly be like assessing my environment and being like, there's so many inconsistencies and like illusions and delusions and like willful lying and shit, and it's all just so we get along. That's crazy. You can't get along like that, like at least long term. It is only temporary when it's like when your relationships with other human beings are based on like what you can get from each other, whether it be financial, sexual, like emotional resources, you know, like whatever, like that's what I provided for a long time, was like, let's everybody go to fucking Alex's gaff, and I did that willingly. I liked that. I didn't have a functioning family anymore, so I wanted to make a new one with all of my friends, you know. Not literally. But like that's what it felt like. It felt like I had, like, you know, a cohesive group again, like that I was a part of, like, you know. And very quickly I started to notice is like most of these cunts don't know me at all, and they don't care, and like, you know, if they couldn't come to my house anymore, they just find somewhere else to go, like, you know. And the world is like that now, where it's like, what can I get from you? What can I parasitically suck off of you? And like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people do it unknowingly, out of like habit and like a cultural thing. You know, you have all these like narcissistic individuals now that don't even realize that it's a bad thing. You know, they think it's just like, well, I gotta get mine. You know, like, it's weird. With all this about brown behavior in mind, it's for these reasons. Coming back to SoCal after my mind adjusting to the aforementioned was a total shock every time, like walking around seeing nudity and porn in real life. With ladies in miniskirts and spandex and cleavage, etc. Yeah, like I fucking, when's the last? It's been years now. I don't know how long. I used to watch porn on the regular, and I haven't done it in years now. And like I've spoken about this before, like it's, and that's why I was making the point earlier on about like Arab lads, like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's something that's spoken about, right? Where just, and like, doesn't matter where you're from, a male will see a female, and if she is attractive, you, like, in your head you're like, oh yeah, like I want to fuck you, like, you know, that can be communicated in all sorts of different ways depending on what person. Like, I'm a bit of a dog, like, do you know what I mean? I'm a bit of a like, Roar! And like some bitches like that, you know, and some bitches don't. Some bitches are like way more meek, and they want a nice guy, but they don't want a weak guy, you know. They just want a guy who's nice. I'm not nice, you know. Like, I'm funny, I'm rough, I'm mad, I'm all these fucking things, but I'm not like I don't mollycoddle, and I don't like treat them like they're princesses and shit, because I think that's an insult. Like, do you know what I mean? I think a lot of that is fucking just like, I think a lot of that shit makes women worse. You know, the whole putting them on a pedestal thing, and like, sure, you have to protect them, but not because they're weak. It's because they're retarded. I seen that on Instagram yesterday. It stuck with me, made me laugh. When a man remembers that he does not protect his woman because she is weak, but he protects her because she is retarded. It's so fucking true. They're not weak. They have their own form of strength. You know, like they have their own form of like mental fortitude. Women do, like, you know, and they have their own. Just like men have their strengths, women have their strengths, and they're different strengths. Like, but women are stupid. Like, on average, women are fucking retarded. Like, and everybody who's honest will just admit that. Like, I'm not saying your average woman is. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying collective, like, women in lots of scenarios would get themselves killed, would not react to a situation, would just crawl into a fetal position and get murdered. Fucking, like, they are submissive, they are physically lesser. Like, they're not designed like a fucking female lion. Do you know what I mean? They're like the human female animal is just not like that typically. They can be, depending on the environment. You could get a woman who would happily and easily and without any kind of emotional fucking, you know, outburst or whatever, would shoot a wolf, skin a rabbit, fucking, you know, like, beat the shit out of a crocodile with a shovel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're tough women, you know? But women as a group are just fucking... Because they have to be. They can't be cold and logical like us, because then the kids would die. So they have to be sympathetic and emotional and empathetic and compassionate to the point where it makes them stupid. It makes them stupid. But it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? But, like, you need people to just admit it. Do you know what I mean? Like, just admit it. Like a man has to be able to admit that like, I've had to, like, admit that, where, like, I'm like, the female's being emotional, and the man in me is like, why are you crying? You're being weak, you know? But then, like, you can't be like that with a woman, because, like, she's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be like that. So instead, you have to, you know, communicate it in a way of, like, look, I understand you're upset, but I think you're being a bit foolish. Don't let it get to you that much. You know, like, fucking more like that. Like, and then sometimes, you know, you just hold her and just hold them and let them cry, because that's what they want. They just want to be held and they just want to cry it out. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. You just go, do you want to, like, just come here, and you hug them, and, like, and then it's over. And then they won't shut up for an hour. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it gets funny, like, obviously I know how to be with a woman. I've been with a woman for fucking, like, ages, but it's like, it's a long process that you have to be honest with yourself with, where, like, the longer you're with them, the more you learn about them and shit, like, and then you see society at large and individual dudes just expecting women to be honest. You know, like, it's like, I used to just say the truth, like, and I still do sometimes. Just, like, the cold, hard, like, no fluff truth to the female, and it would, like, shock her, and, like, you know, be like, oh my god, that's horrible and all, like, because she's nice and she's pretty and she's a girl, like, do you know what I mean? It's like the harsh, cold, bloody reality of men is, like, not suited for women typically. Do you know what I mean? Like, on average. Because you always have these bitches. It's like, I can do what a man can do. It's like, okay, go try then. And then they get the fucking head kicked off them. And it's like, all right, you're gonna get, like, are you gonna admit you're a retard? Oh, I only lost because of the patriarchy. Like, it's always the fucking same. Well, not always. It's typically the same. Where, like women have a massive ego. Like, you know, it's so funny. Like, so fucking funny. No, Margie, you are not average, because you're here. That's how I know you're not average. You're here. Why the white South Africans should come to America over any group? Yeah, like, that would be really cool if, like, all the Dutch South African farmers, all the whites, were just like, all right, fuck it, let's move to Missouri, and they all just ended up in fucking America. Let Africa fall. Let them learn their lesson. Because I've seen so many reports of, like, a lot of them show up at a farm, rape, torture, butcher and burn all the whites, and then all the resources in the farm are taken. You know, they'll slaughter the animals or whatever like that. Like, but then it's just done. Years and years and years of agriculture and training the land and growing food and keeping the soil healthy and burning the dead wood, gone in a matter of minutes or hours because a bunch of fucking monkeys. And those ones are monkeys. The ones who behave like animals and monkeys should be called that. You know, I don't care if you call them gorillas, baboons, capuchins, fucking whatever. They're fucking monkeys. coming in and doing stuff like that. Like, you know, like, on a level, it's an insult to monkeys to call these people that sort of thing. You know, I think they're monsters. They're demons. Like, what kind of fucking lunatic? Like, I don't, like, the disdain that I had for the Jewish community for a while I was learning all of this stuff, and you know, you get to that stage where you're like, it's just the fucking Jews, and then you look at it a bit further and you're like, oh no, okay, like, if not for this, and this, and if not for this, and I'm not like, oh, okay, I suppose it's both, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and that's why I always have been like, you know, yin and yang, where it's like, it's never just one thing. Like, not never, very, very rarely is a problem just one aspect or criteria or variable. It's just one variable. It's just, this is your issue. Quite often, typically, there are many variables at play in an issue, you know? And it's just like, it's so funny going through something like that, where you're like, you know, okay, so it's not like, what to the point I have there? Like, you know, it was like, I used to have so much disdain for the Jews. Like, it's like, yeah, you go through, yeah, you could, because I have, like, you could have the opinion of like, those fuckers need to go. But like, even when I was like, it's the Jews, it's not like I was like, kill all the Jews. It's like, no, kill the Jews doing the stuff. Like, because if it was Christians, or if it was like, you know, fucking Taoists, like pick one, like pick a religion, pick a creed, pick a color. I don't give a fuck. If their behavior is thus, I'd be like, they're your problem. Get rid of them. You know. But then you get to the conclusion, it's like, well, it's the people doing, like, you know, it takes two to tango. So you don't just have these, like, it's the guy who shows up in the wagon with the snake oil and is like, try my wonder cure-all, like, you know, and then sells all of his fucking cure-all to, like, half the fucking village, and then fucks off. And then 2 weeks later, half the people in the village fall incredibly ill and some of them die. Yes, he's a monster. Yes, he is a dickhead. But you're also a bunch of retards. Like, that's how the world works. Like, that's how I think God judges things. It's like, yes, he's an asshole. But you listened to that asshole. You bought the green goo in the bottle with the skull on it off the asshole in the wagon. So, like, that's your fault. Like, and like, I'd say there, if that kind of realization goes viral to the point where like most people alive right now in the realm acknowledge that kind of realization of behavior, where it's like it's no longer a, like, you know, they're the bad men and the racists and the bigots and the fucking this and the that. When we get to a point where it's like, Jesus, we all really need to cop on to life. Like, wouldn't that be so much better if we took the piss out of ourselves collectively? Do you know what I mean? Like, how much better would it be if all the news agencies right now were, like, mocking the blacks in South Africa? Being like, what are you taking all the farms for? You don't know how to farm. Fucking retard. Like, you just have a bunch of Australians or whatever just being like, look at all these blackies killing all these whiteys. Stupid blackie. Like, it doesn't even need to be like really racially, like, you know, or anything, like, you know what I mean? It just point out the obvious, like, you know, so all the blacks are killing all the whites, but don't all the whites do all the farming? So what happens to all the food for all the blacks when all the blacks kill all the whites? Well, all the blacks gonna starve. Like, no, all the blacks are gonna start killing each other. Oh man, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be fucking wild. It's remarkable how quickly one's mind can adjust and recalibrate given the right conditions of modesty and cover-up. Yeah, like a sober, calm mind is so much more capable of assessing your surroundings. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. I haven't had coffee in a few days, and I didn't plan on doing that. So weird. Between traveling and like doing stuff, like I just didn't get a time to have a coffee, and then I went the whole day with it having no coffee. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll try and just not drink coffee. I'll drink tea instead or something for a while, like. And I think I'm starting to get some fucking withdrawals. I'd like I don't get headaches like Big Bear. Because that was like, from watching him over the last few years, it was like, oh man, if I stop drinking coffee, am I gonna have to deal with headaches? Because I don't get headaches. But I've had no coffee in like 48, 72 hours maybe. I have had really weird sensations though, like anxiety, like the jitters and shit, which makes sense. If my body is expecting a fuckload of caffeine to be dumped into my system at particular points of the day, and now I'm not doing that, it would make sense that my body is now compensating, being like, you know, hold on, where's all the juice? What the fuck's going on? Like, maybe it is just my body panicking. Where's the coffee? Oh my god, what the fuck? Because that's what it fucking feels like sometimes. I've had these odd sensations now and again where like I've contemplated, like, do I have PTSD? Or like, you know, and I wouldn't really trust a psychiatrist or a fucking doctor these days, so I'm kind of trying to just like self-diagnose, and I do my qigong and I remain calm and I pay attention to the variables, and I try to just drink water, eat good food, work out, and things do just like come and go. It's weird. Like, really, I genuinely think that, like, I think the main reason people get like really ill is they go to the doctor and they get told that they're really ill. Like, I subscribe to that idea, as I've heard loads of people think the same thing. Like, I think the diagnosis is what fucks you up, because you trust the doctor. You're looking at him being like, what's wrong with me? Help me. The doctor's like, this is what's wrong with you. This will help you. And you believe him. And your brain is just like, okay. Like, how, like, you could totally describe the human mind as generally retarded. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, the placebo effect is a thing. So, like, someone could turn around and go, this blue pill will get rid of your cancer. And you're like, oh, thank you so much. Pop. And then your cancer goes away, you know, because your body is like, yes, sir. like that's hilarious to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, so fucking funny. Yeah, they're compatible with Western society. Definitely, the South Africans totally, like, well, the white ones anyway. I got on well with people I know here locally in real life and also online who are from South Africa, often very based. They've seen a lot of where our woke policies end up. Like, yeah, man, those guys have seen some real shit, a lot of them. Like, horrifying stuff. People just breaking into your home and, like, doing all sorts of fucking monumentally horrific shit. Like, the type, like I said, like, war crimes, full on the type of stuff that you read about in war stories, and you're like, oh my god, how could a person do that to another person? Like, and this is coming from a guy who has had anger issues almost his entire, definitely since the age of 14. And my parents got divorced. I've had like a chip on my shoulder and anger problems, and I express my anger in various ways, and I've had all sorts of visions, and, like, you know, I've done it on purpose in my mind in an attempt to, like, cathartically release some aggression, where I've, like, you know, fucking, like, I'd butcher all of them in a blind rage. And it's like, I might be the type to, like, you know, if I actually do lose my shit, like, maybe butcher one, and then I'd become aware, and then I'd be like, oh shit, what did I just do? And because I know I'm like that. Like, I've been in loads of situations where, like, I'll freak. Like, I only had a moment like that, like, yeah, last year. Yeah, it was last year. It was when I destroyed the fucking symmetrical and the first iteration of Japanese ostrich police. I lost my shit. I was so frustrated. I was so angry. I was like, it's not even. It wasn't even anger. It was pure frustration. It was pure, just frustration in the moment with a load of culminating things, a lot of culminating factors, and because it overwhelmed me, well, like because I allowed it to overwhelm me, it felt like the only way I could expend that energy was physically, you know. And not never. If done in the way that most people do it, like, you know, like me, it was like you put your hand through a wall or like you smash something or whatever like that. That is degenerative destruction. It hurt my soul a little bit, destroying a work in progress and a painting that like we all enjoyed. The first iteration of Japanese Ostrich Police, everybody was like, you know, oh, this is deadly. So like all I did was hurt myself. All I did was damage myself emotionally, mentally, not physically. I didn't like. It was one of the first times I didn't hurt myself physically while in a frustration rage, because typically I do punch things, break things, and all, and then my hands are in bits, and I use my hands all the time, you know. So it's so self-destructive, so stupid. Like you could easily argue that it's a demon in me trying to get me killed, trying to hurt me. It wants to see me suffer. It wants to see me not be able to paint, not be able to create. It wants to see me, like, you know, waste my time being neurotic and all these fucking things. Like, and every so often you fucking feed the thing, you know, because you have that fucking leftover bad habit of feeding the thing because you used to feed it all the fucking time like it was your fucking best friend. Like, it's horrible. Losing control and then regaining it and then feeling the shame and all, like, it's not nice at all. Like, and that's what, like, rigorous exercise and martial arts. Women need direction and to be protected, and in order for that to happen, men need to be strong and disciplined. And the fact that I am on the internet saying this dressed as a fucking Japanese demigod is just so fucking funny and ironic to me, like. Because all I'm doing is basically saying what I have learned, both from watching people like Owen and Tom Barnett and then my own life experience. You come to these realizations where it's like, it's me. It's like, you know, it's not other things that are the problem. It's like, I'm not strong enough. I'm not in control of me enough, you know. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. It is a constant everyday struggle of like, okay, what do I need to work on? Like, you know, fucking, do I need to be more patient, more compassionate? Do we need to be more, you know, decisive? Do I need to be more fucking this, like, so on and so forth? Like, because I can sometimes fall into complacency where I just go with the flow too much, you know. Alright, did I already read them? Oh, I'm so glad I'm not average. Yeah, I read that one a while ago when I seen it pop up. Yeah, Margie is not average. I think my chat fell behind. Apologies if my messages ended up seeming unrelated to the stream. No, not at all, man. If anything, it worked because, like, I always read them like 40 minutes later or some shit. Like, so you're all good. I gotta bounce anyway. Have a great day ahead of everyone. Well, I hope you probably already left, but like, I hope you hear it later and like, no, yeah, your comments were absolutely fine. No bother at all. Right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm 10 minutes over. Oh, I have to go sort out dinner and do loads of other stuff. So I hope you have enjoyed today's Paintingu. You know the drill. Fucking, well, as like, I only announced that recently, but well, this isn't finished. I was about to say, if anybody wants this, you can have it for 50 quid. Fucking not yet. I need to finish it. But yeah, if I'm gonna try and put together a fucking Emmanuel Godsonu. Yes, you're very tardy, very tardy. I'm gonna try and work on getting like a link, or like, even if it's like a screenshot. Like, I don't think I have the time or the resources to like set up a website right now. So I might just, like, for people like Emmanuel and Margie, I might post something on my community in YouTube, or I might invite them to the Telegram group and then do it there. But I'm gonna try and get a list of all like the best painting goos I've done that are all in the suitcase thing here. There's like, I think there's over 100 now. And if any of you guys want one, you can have it for 50 quid. And like that's the thing from now on for like, you know, the Japanites. I'm gonna keep it like that. So like slowly but surely, as we like, you know, have more people come in and blah blah blah, newcomers will have to pay the 200. Because I think it's like a trial by fire. If you're willing to pay 200 quid for the painting, you know, that was painted live in front of you by me, the demigod himself, then it shows that like you appreciate it and you're willing, you know, and you're willing to take part, and it also shows that you like it and you enjoy it and shit like that. So I think it's a good gauge of like when newcomers show up. It's like, well, if you're willing to drop that, then give it about like, you know, 5-6 months of like being in the chat and like hanging around and being involved and stuff, and it's like, okay, you're a Japanite now everything is like, if you want a painting, it's 50 quid, you know. I think like I don't have any membership shit set up on the fucking YouTube and stuff yet, so I think that's like something I can do for you guys, where if you're like, oh, that painting, like loads of people really like the Transformer one, you know, so don't let the €200 price tag deter you anymore, because it's no longer there for you guys. Newcomers, we're going to take the piss out of them though. Anyone out, like Emmanuel and Margie are the cut off now. This is the Japanite crowd, is like all of us here in the chat that we see regularly. Beyond that, if somebody's like, oh, can I buy that painting, I expect all of you to come out of the woodwork and be like, pay for PEINTEINGU €200. Like, we've all done it, you need to do it too. I think that'd be great. You collectively like, come on, support the shit, like. But anyway, you know the drill. Smash the like button like it has insulted your ancestors, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Remember to be good, true, and beautiful. And I shall return at 3 p.m. GMT. Same timer, same pricer. And we shall finish this squid. And then I think this painting goes ready to go. I shall sign this bitch. But anyway.